All right, we're live. Sportsmen Media here. My boy Rob back in the studio finally. We got a lot to talk
How's
about.
it going? Happy
Angels,
holidays.
happy holidays for sure. Happy holidays. It doesn't feel like the holidays yet, but a lot to talk about here on Sportsman Media. Angels, could they have had a chance for Ohtani? A lot of free agent movement, trades. The Dodgers, are they the new evil empire? And Raiders smashing the Chargers. Here, Sportsman Media coming up.
And you're listening to the Sportsman Report, Mike and Rob.
All right. So, what to touch on first? The evil empire, maybe? Are the Dodgers the new evil empire, no longer the New York Yankees? Your thoughts on that, Dow?
I mean they're making a case for it like real soon here. I'm happy for Shohei. A lot of people are comparing it to when KD went to the Warriors, but I think that's a little different just because the Warriors set like a record for like one of the best teams ever, and they won a championship. They did all that without him. And you go to the Dodgers, and the Dodgers are kind of known for choking in October. So maybe he can be that thing to get them over the hump. I mean, we know that he's the unicorn. He does things that you're not supposed to be able to do. So you know what? And the Dodgers they're running their organization the right way. It's hard. It's hard to keep hating on them. If you're a Dodger fan, you're stoked. You know, yeah, you can be worried about the money a little bit, but I mean, there's such a good message sending out to fans that you want to win now, and you're doing whatever it takes. And the money aspect of it, like how he's deferring all that money, it's just you want a guy like Shohei on your team, and the Angels took that for granted for so many years, and the Dodgers are doing it right. So they make it hard to hate on them. I still don't like the Yankees, but for me personally, it's the Astros first. Because people don't forget about the scandal. People act like they like it never happened or something like that. But for me, I still don't like the Astros, don't like the Yankees, respectfully.
Do you think they'll forget about the scandal eventually once all the original team members are gone? Everyone will finally move on from that.
Once all the team members are gone, like for sure. But you got the big ones like Jose Altuve and Bregman. But I heard Bregman's on a trading block too. But for me personally, it's just the fact that no one got in trouble. It was like none of the players. There was nothing happened to any of the players.
No real punishment. Yeah.
So that's why I kind of like want to keep that alive a little bit. There's got to be consequences for people's actions. But no, I don't think the Dodgers are. I mean, yeah, you want to root against them, but I don't think they're the villains of the league yet.
But they're on their way to potentially being that for everyone, depending, I guess, what happens the rest of the free agency here, because they're still obviously linked to Yamamoto, the new Japanese pitcher. I think there's even talks that they still might even trade for another pitcher. They just got Tyler Glasgow from Tampa Bay, obviously a huge acquisition, and they're signing him to an extension. I think it was a 6-year, $135 million extension they were agreeing to, so roughly about $27 a year, I think, for him.
They moved quick, and that's I mean, he's an ace on 90% of the teams in the league, and he's great, dude. I mean, the only thing you got to worry about is health, but that was huge for them,
I mean, I think health is a concern with any pitcher these days. It seems like almost everyone's getting hurt one way or another, whether it's big, not big. I mean,
yeah.
Scherzer back surgery. He's out for at least half the season now. I mean, that's another contract, I think, huge contract for pitchers, $40 million a year, absolute bust of a contract. He's been hurt. He's been hurt at least half that contract. So that's the other thing the Dodgers have to worry about with Ohtani. I mean, does he stay healthy? Does he even pitch again? I know they came out, I think yesterday, Roberts came out and said that he's open to playing the outfield now, if that does happen.
I think we went to a game where late in the game they put him in right field. He's played outfield before. He's pretty comfortable out there. He's got a hose, but I don't know how that's gonna work with his arm.
He did play the outfield, but I don't think he ever had anything hit to him.
No, yeah.
They put him out there just to keep the bat in the lineup. I know that was before they made the Ohtani rule, where he could just hit the whole time no matter what. But he's definitely athletic enough. He could do it if he wanted to. They just don't do it so he doesn't get an extra risk of being hurt from diving for a ball, crashing into the wall or something.
Or runner around in third, going home, ball hit to him. Like, does he make that throw? Does he try to get him out? I mean, the competitive nature, you're going to want to, get the dude out. But I mean, if he needs to think, oh, my arm's hurt still.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I mean, he definitely can't play until his arm's healed one way or another in the field. He can only hit. But, I mean, it's just going to be seen to see what exactly happens with that whole contract. I don't think I touched this on the last episode because I think this came out after, but he's got an opt-out clause in his contract too. If the president of baseball operations or the head majority owner ever leaves, that he could opt out at the end of that season. He said it was his security because he's signing a contract with those two people. Those are the two people obviously controlling the vision of the vision of the Dodgers. And if that ever changes, then he has the right to opt out. So that's kind of interesting to see. Maybe he can still end up back on with the Angels because the Dodgers fuck it up, but highly unlikely. But with that too, Angels apparently had a chance to sign Ohtani. I don't know how I would have felt if they did sign him for the same contract the Dodgers did, but apparently they offered that to Artie and he turned it down.
That doesn't surprise me at all. Artie's a businessman. He's a businessman. I don't think that would have been the best thing that the Angels could have done, is to give him all that money, even if you defer it. Let's say they sign Ohtani, the product around him is mediocre. It's not making the playoffs, especially with Texas being as good as they are now, and the Astros are always pretty competitive. It would have been dumb to do that. I still believe in my heart that the Angels need to start over, a complete rebuild. Even with Mike Trout, get rid of Mike Trout. See what you can get for him. He deserves better. He's on the end of his career. He's always hurt now. Thanks for everything, but we need to know what direction we're going in. And the whole, we want to be competitive now, it's not working. It would be working if you made the playoffs or if you're a winning team. We haven't been a winning team in over 10 years. So I think we need to rebuild. Cut the contract, cut Anthony Rendon, make an example of him. It sucks because we're going to eat all that money, but I think that you need to just change the culture, because no one wants to go out of their way to go play for the Angels, and I think Art has a big he's a big reason why. So I think a whole rebuild is what the Angels need to do, just so the fans know that we're going to suck, but this is why we suck, and there is light at the end of the tunnel. Right now, we're just trying to stay competitive, and I think that's just a business move so he can sell tickets, so he can keep money in his pocket. So
definitely. I definitely agree with him turning down that amount of money for Shohei Ohtani. Would I have loved to still see Shohei Ohtani finish his entire career in Anaheim? Of course, absolutely. Because it'd be easier for me to watch him. The greatest player in my generation that I've ever seen play. So that's kind of tough that he's across town, and I'm not going to be going to Dodger Stadium to watch, but I'll watch whenever he comes into town in the highlights. But I do agree with that. The Angels probably best bet is to do more of a rebuild than what they have done. Now, if there's a way to do a rebuild while staying somewhat competitive, I think they need to find that route and not become the Oakland A's of the West. I don't think the Angels need to go that far down the rabbit hole on their rebuild. I think there's a way that they can still remain competitive with a chance for the playoffs, like they kind of are now, but with the rebuild in mind. And then somehow, being able to strike gold during that time with some young players that just kind of step up, and maybe the Angels can make a run at it with Mike Trout still at some point in his career. I don't know if I would necessarily trade Mike Trout away right away. He is still like the leader of the team, the guy that you want on your team. Yeah, he's been hurt, but I don't know. I don't know the value of not having him compared to what we'd even get for him. To be honest, with his contract that's out there, would be worth it.
Quiet. He's too quiet to be a leader. I mean, he's the quiet leader. He's what you want out of a big leaguer. He's professional, but I think that they need someone a little bit more outspoken, someone to really like rile the guys up, and I mean, he's great. He's great, but he's not the vocal leader that the team has, like that the team needs. I don't think there is someone on the team like that.
I mean,
you know, like
I feel like maybe he's in private more vocal than he is with the media. I think he just plays that normal media thing to where he just doesn't want to say anything to the media, but in the locker room in private, I feel like he'd have a little bit more fire into him. I mean, you can tell that he's got the passion of the desire to win. And somewhere in there that has to spill over to, you know, the teammates. And I mean, it doesn't help with the toxicity of Anthony Rendon on the team, of all the stuff that we've been hearing. And Angels are just, you know, that would probably be my move number one on a rebuild, letting him go. Pay the contract, eat the bullet, bite the bullet, whatever you want to say. Pay him the money and get the fuck out of the locker room. That's
no, absolutely. There's no real. It just it's contagious, you know, and you don't want those kind of vibes spreading around the locker room. But yeah, dude, and I think that they need to get some veteran guys to help change the culture too. And if they're gonna do this too, like might as well let like a lot of the young dudes see what they got. I don't know what we're waiting on with Joe Adell. I thought we should have traded him 2-3 years ago. And I mean, at what point are we going to say, all right, this is your time, or we're going to try to trade you? Like, what's going on with him, you know?
I mean, Joe Adell's been one of the bigger, I think, letdowns of our promise rookies. Angels, though, have had, I guess, a story to promise rookies that have kind of just fizzled out. Dallas McPherson, I don't know if you remember him back in the day. You know, there's been quite a few that we've had that were supposed to just come up and just smash, and they haven't done so. I mean, this year might be the year they can let him start, because unless they go out and sign some big name outfielder like Cody Bellinger, the Angels are very limited what they got in the outfield right now.
Even then, like Cody Bellinger, I think would be a great signing. You know, yeah, he's. I mean, he's not even that old. What is he? 28 years old or something like that.
He's not that old.
Yeah, 20. You know, and he can play first. He can play outfield. That would be a great signing. But knowing the Angels, they'll probably way overpay for him for way too many years. But, you know, he does have a little bit of that attitude, that swagger. You know, I think he'd be a more vocal leader than Mike Trout. And
he's got what it takes. I wouldn't mind the Angels signing him and even overpaying a little bit for him. The Angels need a bat like that in the lineup. They need an outfielder like that in the lineup. And like you said, they need someone that's got that demeanor about him that the Angels are pretty much lacking at this point in time. I mean, I was kind of surprised that they traded Fletcher away, to be honest. I mean, I know he hasn't been declining, but I don't know. He seemed like a solid, at least depth piece to keep around. I mean, they already, you know, had him on contract, and I don't think they really got much for him, but.
Yeah, well, so from what I read is that it was a money move. They saved like 11 mil or something like that. They also traded Max Stassi, and that was kind of a sad situation too, because he was going through a lot of personal things, and people were wondering why he missed so much of the season last year. And it came out that he, you know, a bunch of personal stuff I don't want to talk about. And then right after that, we trade him. You know, trade him to the Braves, and then I think they cut him, right, and then the White Sox picked him up.
Yeah, the Braves sent him to the White Sox for cash considerations, a player to be named later, and then the White Sox, I believe, let him go.
Did they really?
I think they either let him go or they pushed him through, knowing he wouldn't get picked up on waivers at minor leagues.
I thought Max Stassi is a solid catcher. I don't think he should be the starter, you know, but he's a solid backup. I really like Logan O'Hoppe. I think a full season of that guy, I think he could be. You know, he could be really, really good. Oh yeah. I mean, you know how he started off last season? He was hot. So I thought, you know, Logan O'Hoppe and then Max Stassi was a great 1-2 punch behind the dish. So now, I mean, now we need a backup catcher. You know?
Yeah. I don't know who they got on the radar. The only rumors were Martin Maldonado coming back on a 1-year deal potentially to the Angels. I guess they were in talks for him, and I think he'd be a solid backup. I always liked Maldonado. Logan O'Hoppe is definitely the future for the Angels in the catching position. And now the Angels just need to go out and upgrade some more. So it's going to make sense trading them away for the money if they go out and make some kind of splash. Some kind of free agent splash of those that are still left in the market. I mean, if we look at some of the top free agents here that I kind of touched on the last episode. I don't know, who would you be going after if you were the Angels front office? Who's your number one at this point?
Number one?
Number one must sign.
So, okay, it depends on what direction they're going to go. If they're going to rebuild, then some of these names I'm not going to say. So, I mean, obviously, number one, I think the best guy out there is probably Blake Snell. But that's going to eat up a lot of your money, and I don't know if they're going to. He's
31.
He's the best talent out there. But one of the deal that I think that we can that would work fit, or sorry, let me restart. Someone that I think would fit really well with the Angels, especially because we lost a big bat in Othani. JD Martinez. Yes, he's older, but I think you can get him on a 1 or 2 year deal, and he's a professional hitter. He's solid, and he's a good veteran presence. I think that he would be a really good fit to plug in a big bat to plug in. Or what do you think about Royce Hoskins?
Royce Hoskins is definitely an option to see in here. If we're looking at I'm looking up JD's stats here from last year. Just kind of see what he had. So 23 with the Dodgers. It's bad. 271, 321 on base, 572 slugging. Had 34 walks. He had 33 fucking home runs last year at age 36.
Look at those powers,
I think that would be a solid DH backup, especially against righties. Maybe another option against the righties on that aspect of things. But I think JD Martinez is probably definitely one of the top ones there. And then like you said, you had was a first baseman, Royce Hoskins. He's 31. I think he's a very attractive option when it comes to definitely needing a first baseman. I don't think we have an everyday first baseman at this point. I think they let Walsh go. That was kind of disappointing.
He fell off. I don't know what happened to him. It was the yips or something mental going on. And I hope he turns it around, comes back, because I mean he was an all-star and then he got hurt and then just fell off. Yeah, dude. And other than those two guys, it's pitching. I think they need. I like Josh Hader. I mean, who doesn't? I don't think he's got picked up yet.
Yep. Hoskins, he was hurt last year, right? He didn't play last year.
Yeah, and then so that was too. They said that they were going to move Bryce Harper to first base, and Hoskins is done. So I don't know where he's going to end up. I think you can get a decent deal for him.
You could get a real good, at least 1-2 year deal for a potential all-star at first base there. Give him a shot to come back. Could be comeback player of the year maybe. I don't mind that at all.
The thing with the flashing and Blake Snell is I don't think that free agents want to go to Anaheim. I don't think that they want to play for the Angels. So that's one thing that they're gonna have to change with the culture, because they're not gonna go out of their way to play here. So they're gonna have to overpay. So yeah, I don't see them landing Blake Snell. I don't see them landing Josh Hader. But the JD Martinez, Royce Hoskins, I think there are really realistic signings.
Yeah, I think they definitely need number one starting pitching. They need a solidified ace at the rotation, whether it's Snell, whether it's someone like Marcus Stroman, I think is available still. I think he's potentially coming off market soon.
He's getting old, but he is a ground ball pitcher.
Yeah, he's 33. He's getting up there, but somewhat of if they get him for the right price, they can go out and trade for someone like Bieber, that's on the trade market. Somewhere in that round, if they can get one of those solid starting pitching, and then I agree with the JD Martinez to replace Shohei Ohtani's power numbers, at least in the lineup. Like I said, he is getting old, so he's going to be taking a chance on him. He's 36. 1 or 2 year deals for low money. I think it makes sense. And then outfield wise, I would really love Cody Bellinger, but I think a more realistic goal maybe be Jock Peterson.
And that's another big power bat too. He could DH. He can DH.
He's got the swagger that the Angels need. He's got the power, the pop.
I think he could play some first too.
I think he can play a little bit of first. I mean, he's only 32. I think that would be a solid pickup as well for the Angels.
And a couple years back, when he when he was with the Dodgers, him and was it Sterling? I think the pitcher. They were supposed to. They were traded to the Angels for Rengifo and someone else, and the deal never went through because of Art stepping over the GM's toes. Yep. That's not. So if we get him again, it's like, well, it was meant to be because he was supposed to be an Angel already. Big lefty power bat. I really like that move too.
Yeah. You also have someone from ex-Seattle to Teoscar Hernandez.
Big power bat, yeah.
Another big power bat. He's only 31. I think that'd be a good signing for the Angels.
I see it.
Because they definitely need some outfield depth. I don't think our rookie Joe Adell is the answer. I don't think he's ever going to amount to anything in the MLB. At least not with the Angels. Maybe he'll be like the other players who trade away and they go on to have all-star seasons and they just can't do it with the Angels. Maybe that's what happens.
But what do you think about Taylor Ward?
Taylor Ward, hopefully he can have a bounce-back season. I think he's still the future right fielder. So I think we only really need a solid left fielder, which would be someone like, I said, Jock Peterson or someone from within, Teoscar Hernandez. I mean, I know he plays right field, but I'm sure Taylor Ward could move to left field too. Oh, yeah. And he's played left field as well. So somewhere around that round, but I think Taylor Ward is still a part of the Angels' future. He's still a solid player as long as he can just continue what he did have. I mean, it sucked that he got hurt right in the middle of that. I feel like the Angels have a history of that. Remember Kendry Morales?
Oh, right.
He would have an absolute tear of a season that we've ever seen, and then he breaks his leg on a freak celebration at home plate. Just that's the Angel way. If to be said though, if probably it's going to be a very expensive signing. Cool. But to trade one expensive guy for another, how we said of letting Rendon just go and eat the contract. Matt Chapman.
Yeah. See, and I was thinking about Matt Chapman too. Can he play? Okay, so you're talking about getting Matt Chapman for third base and not even counting on Anthony Rendon.
Yep, just getting rid of him. Let him go. Cut our losses and move on and get someone like him.
Yeah, I don't think that they have the cojones. I don't think they have the balls to cut Anthony Rendon. I would love to see it. I think how many chances are you going to give the guy? But so I mean, yeah, that'd be awesome. That'd be awesome if they, in a perfect world, they use it, like they make an example out of him and sign Matt Chapman.
I mean, I'd even take Justin Turner on a one-year deal.
Dude, yeah, Justin Turner. I forgot about him. I was gonna write him down. He'd be great, and he could play first base. He can DH for you. He's another veteran presence. He's got he's got pop in his bat. He's got power, and he's a professional. He's a good team guy. So yeah, that's another one too. I think we wouldn't have to overpay for him. Mm-hmm. So yeah, JT.
Yep. Did you see JT throw shade at the Dodgers' way too, that they couldn't afford his contract, but then they pay Shohei Ohtani $700 million?
I did not see that. That's funny. So, so hopefully that means that dude, I really like that one too. Actually, I'm gonna put him up there with
Turner coming back to Anaheim just to face his old team, the Dodgers, and smash him against his Ohtani that he called out for his contract.
Love it.
That would be cool.
That would be great, dude. I would be really happy with that signing.
I think that's my fantasy signing for this year. I doubt that's ever going to happen, but
you never know.
Like you said, I don't think Artie has the balls to let him go and pay the money.
If the price is right. Oh yeah, I don't think so either. I hope that he just gets some help or something. I mean, dude, you're getting paid all this money. Like if you have something if you're going through some
I just don't know what's happened to him. He's been known as the cucumber of the league, always keeping his cool and just between going off on an A's fan and just the other stuff and being hurt. I don't know.
Yeah, whenever stuff like that happens, I always think, okay, well, what's going on in their personal life that they're bringing to work? Yeah.
Very well could be.
So I hope that he refines that love for the game and yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously, we'd love to see him turn around and be the all-star he was back in the World Series for the Nationals, but I think that guy is long gone.
Yeah.
Just from the injuries and not even showing up, even though he's injured, still not supporting the team. Like, I don't think there's many teammates that want him in the locker room anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, and that's a big problem. Can Ron Washington change the culture? You know, is Ron... Hold on.
Was Ron Washington part of the Nationals back in that day?
You know, I don't remember, but
I feel like he was.
I mean, how do you feel about that signing with getting Ron as the coach?
I love it. I don't think there was many better options that the Angels could have gotten. I love the fire that old man has. Like, you wouldn't think that he's got some fire in him. He's got some cojones, as you would say.
Yeah.
As a manager, you know, I love the comments to the press. You know, like, we're here to chase down the West, and you can take that straight to the bank. Like, you know, like, exactly what I think the Angels need. You just need the front office to stay out of his way.
Yeah, exactly. And I don't know if I don't know how that dynamic.
I don't know if Perry can, because Perry's the one that I think was the reason why Joe left. He's the reason why it went sour with the last manager too. Like, there was talks and writings out there, about how he'd step in and they'd agreements, because he was telling him, like, you cannot pitch this guy today, or you must pitch this guy today. Like, that's not anything to do with the GM's business. Like, if you're doing that as a GM, you don't deserve to be a GM. I'm sorry. So Perry, if you're really doing that, knock that shit off, because that is not your responsibility. You get the players, and it's the coach's responsibility to win with those players.
Perry said that he was gonna be aggressive, and they were gonna make some big moves, and they have been so quiet lately. Other than trading Fletch and Max Stassi to get a couple of, like, no names.
I mean, to be fair, though, most of the Angels' big signings have come with little talks beforehand. Most of their signings, like Albert Pujols, the signing of Ohtani, like, no one thought the Angels were in any of that, and then bam, signed. Like,
yeah, so I mean, I'm ready, man. I mean, all the Angel fans, we're sitting on the edge of our seats.
Yeah, just because there's not talks doesn't mean that the Angels aren't going to do something at some point, because they are the team that does keep things more private than leaking a lot of stuff to the news. That's for sure.
That's true.
And that's one of the reasons why I thought that they were still in the Shohei Ohtani, and turns out they were, because we weren't hearing anything from that camp like we were everywhere else. And, you know, that's exactly what happened when he signed the first time with him. So the Angels are out there. They're going to make some kind of Angel move.
I hope so, man. I hope so.
You know, you got some veterans out there that maybe could help. Elvis Andrus is out there. Tony Kemp. Colton Wong maybe, and some backup infield depth. We need some of that.
Yeah, these are all good pieces, but not starters, you know?
Yeah. But as we know, Angels' history with injuries, they need all the depth they can get.
Yeah, I mean, that being said, too, they do need help all around.
I mean, what about Amon Rosario? He's the top shortstop available still.
Who?
Amon Rosario.
Oh, from from Cleveland? Oh, from the Braves.
I think he was from the Braves, right? In Rosario? Or no, I'm thinking of the other guy.
No.
This is from Cleveland, yeah. I mean, he's 28.
Okay.
He's young.
Yeah, he's good. He's solid. I wouldn't mind seeing him. I mean, we still... Well, no. We have Zach Neto. So seeing a full season of him would be fun, too. Kid's really good. He's got a lot of pop. He's got a lot of swag. But you know what I heard, too? I heard that Ron Washington is linked with Tim Anderson. And I know he's had a lot of... he's gotten a lot of shit, like, the last... last season or two, especially after getting knocked out, KO'd, by Ramirez. But I have mixed feelings about that. Part of me thinks that he's gonna have a comeback season. I mean, he was a 300 hitter couple seasons ago.
And get him on a 1 year, second year option or something for $8 million or something like that. Maybe I think it'd be worth it.
Yeah,
partner him up the middle with Zach Neto.
At this point, he did say that he'll play second or third or wherever, so that's a good sign. And especially if he's coming to play for a coach that he respects and likes.
Mm-hmm. Partner him up the middle with Zach Neto, put him at second.
With that being said, it could be worse. So, yeah,
it could be worse. So yeah, I mean, a lot of big moves pending. Yamamoto, obviously, Matt Chapman, Bellinger, all expected to be signing here soon. I think there's even another Japanese pitcher now that's supposed to be potentially posted soon. That's supposed to be really good. I wouldn't mind if the Angels signed, I guess, the Japanese pitcher either, depending on how much. But I feel like he's definitely going to the Yankees.
Yeah, you know what, too? After watching the World Baseball Classic, hey, you could sign any of those guys and I'll be all right.
Right? So, maybe something like that. Giants got the big Japanese hitter. They signed him. So got a lot of stuff coming down the pike for baseball here as we keep track from week to week. One other thing I wanted to touch on just for you, because you're a Raiders fan, the Raiders actually destroyed the Chargers over the last week. What was it, 67-14 or something like that, which ended up getting the Chargers coach fired. How do you feel about that? And how do you feel about what I saw a video of the locker room for the Raiders? Do you think that's something that they should really be celebrating at this point? Or should it be business like usual in the locker room, even though they killed them?
For football, because there's 17 games?
Yeah.
I think, you should celebrate every win, every victory, celebrate it, but don't hang on it too long. Celebrate it that night, and then next day, go back to work and think about next week. Yeah, I love it that it's against the Chargers, in our division, and we came off of a really embarrassing loss, not scoring at all. But there's just a lot of dysfunction in that.
Yeah, I mean, I get it to be like hype people up and get the motivation going, and I don't know, just it's something about the locker room videos that I saw just kind of rubbed me the wrong way for some reason. Like, you got a season to go, you're losing record, like you got to be more focused on winning constantly instead of just like, yeah, you scored all these points in one game, but what about all the other games? Where are the points in all those other games? You know what I mean? It's kind of the same thing of how I touched last episode on the in-season tournament for the NBA. I don't know if you have any comments on that and how you feel about that.
I don't understand it that well. The in-season tournament, like I've tried to, it's confusing. So like you play for a spot in the playoffs?
No one gets a spot at all, but they're trying to say that next year the winner is guaranteed a playoff spot, which I think is the dumbest thing in sports I've ever heard. That means why would they worry about winning the rest of the year when they're already in the playoffs?
I know
the season's not even half over.
They played for like $500,000 for the players, so I get that. Like it's a money tournament basically. But the whole to get a spot in the playoffs, like what's them to like go hard in the tournament and then just play all the rookies or all the other no names for the rest of the season, to take your foot off the gas pedal.
Because what are they playing for then? Like they're not playing for anything at that point. Like I don't get it.
Exactly, yeah.
Unless it's just another dumb thing to give LeBron some more participation trophies, and that's the other thing. The Lakers celebrating with champagne in the clubhouse from that.
Yeah,
absolutely disgraceful.
I wonder what Kobe would have thought about it.
He's rolling over in his grave.
I remember that there's a video of Kobe saying that this franchise, we don't hang like conference championships, we don't hang this, we hang like NBA titles, we hang those banners up. And
it was Charles Barkley, I think, when the news said if the Lakers hang a banner for that shit, he's gonna never let them live it down.
Yeah, and they did.
They hung a banner for it? I didn't even see that. Are you serious?
I think I'm almost positive they did. But
wow.
Yeah, dude. Wow. So I'm not.
Gonna have to start calling the crypto arena now instead of the Staples Center, because that whole era is fucking gone.
And then what was weird is that the courts, the color schemes of all of them, it just, I don't know why, maybe I'm old school, but I really like the old the wood, wood floors. They were too colorful for me. It was hard to keep up on it.
Yeah, it gets a little hard on the eyes depending on what colors you're using.
Definitely.
On some of those floors. But yeah, no, I thought that was just. Is this the direction of sports that we're going in these days? Like participation trophies, pointless tournaments. Like, yeah, I didn't understand it. They're trying to say they're trying to get more fans involved, and the reason why he did it, did that to make the earlier games more exciting, I guess, more meaningful.
I guess.
I mean, if you want to do something like that, that's fine. But if you're gonna make them make the playoffs, that's the worst decision you could ever make.
Yeah.
So, but until next time, that's pretty much wrap it up. You got any final thoughts there, Rob? Anything to look forward to for next week?
No, I'm glad we're doing this. Happy holidays, and hopefully the Angels make some moves, make some splashes, and give us some more shit to talk about. Especially because the Dodgers, dude. What a hell of an offseason already for the Dodgers, and I don't think that they're done. So yeah, I hope. I'm glad we're doing this again, and it's good to be back.
It is good to be back. Hopefully we got some big signings to talk about for next week in baseball, as well as other sports, and we'll be back every Sunday moving forward with a new episode of the podcast. Until next time, we'll see you.